Thank you, man. All right. Go Huskies. We're very excited in Connecticut. We're going to be paying close attention. We wish our women were still in the fight, but we're grateful to have this huge turnout today for LSC. Thank you for all the work you do on behalf of legal aid. I come from a legal aid family. My wife, Kathy, who now practices down here in DC for a very long time, led the Children at Risk unit for Connecticut Legal Services, which is our statewide legal aid unit. She started out as a staff attorney, worked her way up to lead the unit representing kids in education disputes and juvenile justice disputes. And I'm so proud of the work that she did. I've been able to see firsthand both the fantastic work that legal aid and legal services lawyers do, but the absolute tsunami of need that is overwhelming those offices and those lawyers. And we both still keep in touch very closely with that community back in Connecticut. As was mentioned, for a while I've led the effort to try to push my colleagues on the Appropriations Committee to put the requisite amount of funds in the budget to at least help stem that tidal wave of need that's happening out there, and we will continue in a bipartisan way to try to push our colleagues. I'm grateful to have Senator Cornyn's support, Senator Sullivan from Alaska's support. But Senator Cornyn and I have also worked on a piece of legislation that we think is really important, and I know that this is on your agenda as well. We're introducing once again this year the Office of Access to Justice bill, and this is an office that is not statutorily authorized inside the administration that makes sure there's one central clearinghouse to stand up for individuals' right to get access to counsel. And this was an office that existed under the Obama administration. The Trump administration got rid of it. The Biden administration put it back in place. You really can't run an effective outreach operation to legal services groups. You can't run effective advocacy on behalf of individuals who deserve access to justice if the office is appearing and reappearing and disappearing depending on which president is in office. And so on a bipartisan basis, we are going to try to put this into law to make sure that we've got somebody standing up for these folks every day. And I am being very short because we're in the middle of a vote right now on the floor of the Senate, and so I have to make sure I get back up before it hits zeros. But let me just offer this one additional thought to you. So listen, as I said, I've lived the legal aid experience. I lead the letter every year pushing for more funding. I'm leading the legislation trying to make permanent this capacity to stand up for people's right to access justice. So I don't know that there's anybody in the Senate that's sort of working harder on this set of issues. But let me just level with you. In the healthcare world, we have a phrase, comorbidities, right? People that have a variety of different illnesses that compound each other, and they become very difficult to care for when they have a layering of illnesses. Well, the same thing is happening in our legal justice system today. The folks that I live with in the south end of Hartford, and we live in a low-income neighborhood just south of downtown in Hartford, those folks don't have a housing legal issue, right? They have a housing legal issue, and they have a healthcare legal issue, and they have an environmental justice legal issue, right? They've got a layering of rights that are being unaddressed because of a decision that this country has made to layer poverty on top of lack of access to housing, on top of bad schools, on top of threats to physical safety if you live in certain neighborhoods in this country. And so I am all for trying to make sure that they have an opportunity to access their rights through the legal system. But they have so many legal issues because of our decision to essentially put them in survivalist mode, working full-time but not making enough to afford your rent, having your kids fear for their life every day when they walk out the street to school. That we've got to have a holistic approach to trying to better the lives of these families. And so my hope is that for those of you who are standing up for legal aid and legal services, that you're doing that because you're standing up for those folks who are in perilous situations all across our country, and that you will also join us in our fights to bring them a modicum of economic platform, a modicum of public safety, schools that they can be proud of. This has got to be a holistic fight on behalf of this population. There is a limit to what the legal system can do for them. That access to the legal system is transformational for somebody who is being kicked out of an apartment with 3 or 4 kids, a woman who's been denied access to an income because of a spouse who won't pay child support or alimony. All that stuff makes a difference on a case-by-case basis, but to systemically stand up for these families, we got to be thinking bigger and doing bigger. And so I'm so appreciative of your decision to lend your enormous moral authority to this cause on behalf of Access to Justice. I will continue to lead it. I will continue to lift up the stories of my wife's clients over the course of her decade of work, and I look forward to joining you in these bigger causes to make sure that these families and these people have what they need. So thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.